Good afternoon. I was on the line today with a friend of mine, a colleague, and we were discussing some of the rhetoric that's going around about voting. And an individual that I listened to trying to give some ideas for wanting to vote for Mr. Bernier. And I knew that I had to respond. So I'm sorry, I'm a bit of a wreck today. I'm not shaved. I did some traveling yesterday. I've been running to catch up all day, and my day in the office has been slammed. But I wanted to respond. I keep hearing over and over the number one reason that people want to vote for Maxime Bernier is they say that he's not politically correct. Well, that's a trait that I love and appreciate personally very much. I don't like politicalese. I think that it's terrible stuff. But there comes a time when you've got to still respect etiquette. There's some things that need to be said, if not politically correctly, politically wisely. You can't just throw communication in the garbage and not consider how your words are going to come across in good company or in the community. So consider that. But if that's the only reason to vote for the man, that's not a good reason to put him in power in the country. There are other implications that give cause for concern. And so if you don't have that reason, that's not the reason you vote. What is the other reason? What would be another reason that you would vote? Well, people say the abortion issue. Mr. Bernier is a confessed libertarianism. The whole policy of libertarians is to respect people's rights, which includes definitely the right for a woman to have control over her own body, which, as a conservative who is dead set against abortion myself, I'm completely a pro-life guy. I still think that when it comes down to it, it's between a woman and God and her doctor, and should remain that way. I think that abortion of convenience, absolutely. If there's a way to have a law to make it illegal, it needs to be done. But when it comes down to an emergency medical condition, that's not an abortion. That's a procedure. That's a medical procedure where the woman's life depends on it, and that still should remain between her doctor, and her family, her God. It's not an easy position to be in. I don't think anybody, I don't think of that as an abortion situation. I think of that as a situation where a medical professional has to do the unthinkable to save a life, if he can save a life. And there's no law against that, and there likely never will be. Hopefully there never will be. So when it comes down to abortion, I'll tell you that the pro-life organizations that I'm in contact with, that I am active with, that I communicate with, tell me their vote is going for Andrew Scheer. So if the abortion activists are going to vote for Mr. Scheer, don't use abortion as an excuse to vote for Mr. Bernier. Rethink the item. And finally, I'm going to tell you this afternoon, you vote the way that it's dictated in your conscience to vote. And I respect that 100%. And I mean what I'm saying today with love and with compassion, with kindness. But I urge you to consider this. The best bet that we have for a conservative majority government is to everyone get behind Mr. Scheer. It's not a question of his depth of conservatism. We can deal with that after. If he's not conservative enough after we elect him, well, then let's change that in 2023, which is just a few years away. But we won't survive. We won't survive. The country won't survive the travesty of having another 4 years of liberal, progressive push, the way that it's been going, pushed back down our throats. It's not going to work. So the goal is to first defeat Trudeau. And then when that's done, then we can take care of the depth of Mr. Scheer's conservatism. And remember this, there's a number of conservative premiers across the country who are capable of holding that man's feet to the fire. And we need to work with them. We need to work with our MPs. We need to work with our MLAs. We need to work in our provinces with our government, with our conservative governments, to turn all leadership, in a conservative direction. And that's the job that we have ahead of us. But I'll tell you what, you vote according to your dictates. If the dictates of your conscience tell you to vote for Bernier, and enough conservatives don't get together and end this thing once and for all, and you do end up with a progressive coalition or a progressive government, you will be begging for the days when you had the opportunity to have Mr. SCHEER as the leader of our nation, because the freshly emboldened progressive government will absolutely inflict to the nth degree of neglect on the Western provinces. This everything that Canadians really want, everything Canadians believe, is going to be found by working together. And the Liberals have shown us they don't work with us. They don't work with Canadians. They do whatever they want, however they want, and they don't care how it looks or how it seems to the rest of us. So I'm just going to encourage all of my conservative friends, all of my conservative, whether it's Christian conservatives especially. And I'm a clergyman. I love God and I love this country, and I want to tell you, no doubt in my mind, you need to be voting for Andrew Scheer. It's my humble opinion this afternoon, and I thank you for listening to me share it with you. God bless.